Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome back. I'm Haidar, and today I want to talk to you about what is the number one expense. I think it's extremely important to understand what is your money goes to the most as an expense, right? And I think there's a lot of people have this misconception of expense in general and what will be their number one expense. And I can tell you right now, no, it is not your mortgage payment. No, it is not your rent. No, it is not your car payment. No, it is not your grocery store. No, it is not eating outside, and it's definitely not hitting that like button so you can support me for the YouTube algorithm so I can get some more views and share the topic. Your number one expense is actually taxes. Believe it or not, the number one expense is taxes, right? You pay taxes on properties, you pay taxes on sales, the stuff you buy, you pay taxes if you sell something, you pay something if you buy something, you pay taxes everywhere. Most importantly, you pay taxes for 99% of us is like on income. Why is that extremely important? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I did the math, and because of my tax bracket and what it falls under, what salary I'm making, I'm actually every 2.5 years I work 1 year for free just because of taxes. Yes, you heard that right. How depressing that is, it is actually true. And a lot of us actually work for free because of taxes. So for me, my example, if I continue on working for 20.5 years under employer, I'm actually working 10 years for free, which is insane if you really think about it, but that's something I cannot change. Well, Haidar, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to not pay taxes and go to jail? Well, Haidar, everybody pays taxes. That's something normal. That's something within our society. That's the law. Well, let me tell you something, is actually, what if I told you that you're wrong? There are actually dozens of examples of big companies that did not pay any taxes and they made billions of dollars. The most recent one is actually Amazon. Amazon has made $16 billion last year and did not pay any taxes at all, zero income tax. So you gotta pause and think to yourself, what are they doing differently than us that makes them not pay any taxes legally? You see, the whole idea is not to avoid taxes because that's illegal. The whole idea is to reduce your taxes as an employee or somebody that has a small business so you can take an advantage and actually accelerate your growth. And that's the whole topic of today, is how can you reduce the amount of taxes that you're paying out so you can grow faster in the long term and you can get that compounded interest to work for you and make the money work for you faster and generate even more money the legal way. So I'm about to share with you, it's not something I have actually done or created. It's actually, the credit all goes to Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's the one that came up with the category. So I'm gonna change a couple of names. So I don't want you guys to get all the credit for it. I actually had his book under my link description below, so that way you can actually read it. It's really an eye-opening. That's one of the first books I've actually read, and I gained a lot of knowledge to how things actually work. So that being said, there's 4 categories, right? You have the employer, you have the small business owner, you have the big business owner, and then you have the investor, right? An employer is like 99% of Americans, anybody that is working for full-time or part-time for an employer, for somebody, right? We pay most of the taxes depending on where your tax bracket is, but on average you pay with all the federal and 401k and all that stuff, we say about 40%. Small business owners pay actually a little bit more because there's some taxes not included with the employer. I believe they pay 7.5% on some benefits, where if you're a small business owner, you have to eat the 7.5%. However, as a small business owner, you have the advantage of anything that you have business expense related, you can claim it by the end of the year as a tax advantage. Whereas if you're an employee under an employer, you can't really do that. A simple example of it, I did that the hard way, and I found that the hard way, is that one time I wanted to claim gas, right? From putting in my car, going from point A, which is my house, to the work for a whole year. And that didn't work very well because they didn't really care, the IRS did not really care about that because I don't own a business. I'm just going to accommodate getting transportation like every human being does. When you are a business, which I have a little small business that I own, anytime I make transportation, I actually can claim it to that small business. So mileage wise, because it can depreciate your car. Not only that, but also if you're financing it under your business, of course, you can claim that as tax exemption. And last but not least, you can also put the car insurance and the gas costs under business expense, right? So it does reduce your taxes dramatically, right? So we're talking about just 60% pure profit. And then the IRS works with you in regards to whatever tax breaks that you have that you can expand your business more. Now let's get to the least amount of people that actually pay taxes. So then we're going to go to the big businesses that have 500 plus employees and investors. Actually, as a matter of fact, investors do pay the least amount of money taxes wise, about 20%, just because the government, you got to think about it as your partner. And if you have, it's a relationship thing, right? If you as an investor, you're providing some business to the country where you maybe are in real estate, providing housing, or your power plant, providing energy, or you are in the food distribution, providing food. These kind of things government cannot really get themselves into or cannot really provide. So they rely on investors to take risk, put their money in, and also help the people out, the majority of people. Therefore, they give you tax breaks and tax advantage to that. Same thing with big corporations, 500 plus. If you have 500 plus in your company, you are providing a lot of work for people. Therefore, the government has to give you some tax advantages to try to help you as an individual to grow your business more and employ a lot more people, which in return, these people pay, you know, the 40% like I was talking about. So the government makes even more money, right? So the whole idea is the government is trying to encourage entrepreneurs and investors to take over and create businesses or create investments that can scale up the country, and into that the economy goes up and unemployment goes down. Therefore, the government makes even more money out of taxes. Hadar, all this is nice and great. I can hear what you're saying. Some of you are saying, how does that apply to me? I don't have a business. I'm not thinking about doing a business. I'm not an investor. I don't have the money to be an investor. What am I supposed to be doing here? I'm getting that right now. So as an employee that works full-time or part-time, but mainly this is targeted for full-time, there's several things you could do legally to reduce your amount of taxes. For example, taking advantage of your pre-tax benefits, your 401k, your Roth IRA, and your traditional IRA, right? And these things that help actually save you money. For example, in my case, I just did the math. If, and I'm not saying I am, but if I contribute all my 401k, I max it out, which is $19,000 a year, that will save me $440 on taxes, right? $440 a month, right? That's huge. That is huge. In a 10 years perspective, you're looking about close to $48,000 to $50,000 on savings. But Hadar, you know, if I save that money, I can access it, or I have to pay taxes later on when I'm retiring. You are right. So two things. The first part, there's ways you can actually access the money if you are going to use it for investment opportunity, and if you have the knowledge to make money. And the way you could do that is you could take a loan on your 401k at a lower rate, and then you can pay it back. But the cool part about it, that interest rate that you're getting, you're actually gonna pay back to yourself in the long term, not for the bank. So that's pretty amazing. But you are right about having that 401k. That 401k is for your retirement. So really, when you take it all out without taking a loan, you are gonna be paying taxes. But what you don't realize is that over the years, over the months, you're compounding that. So you are growing so much tremendously faster than an average Joe that does not really max their 401k. Just because if you're making 5% on 19,000, imagine that you're making that 19,000 rather than somebody just doing 2,000 or 4,000 a year. By the end of it, when you go about to go retire, you're gonna make a lot more money, providingly you actually retire at the right time when the economy is not in crisis, which nobody can control that, right? So that's one of the things you could do. Another thing too is open your Roth IRA, your traditional IRA, to help you save some money, and in return, that will get you less tax hits on traditional IRA, because traditional IRA works as a 401k. Some people prefer Roth IRA just because they can access the money anytime they want to without any penalty, and when they reach a 59.5, they don't have to pay any taxes on the gains. So that's pretty good reward on that as well. But you do have to pay taxes, of course, on your Roth IRA because it's already been taxed, right? Last but not least, there's the HSA, which is your health account. There's a lot of employers that actually provide that as a benefit. And a lot of people, what they don't know, they use it for just medical, but actually you can use that account to put money into it that is pre-tax, so you're not getting taxed on it, and you can legally pay your medical bills without paying taxes. Because you see, if let's say I make $1,000 a month, for easy calculations, nobody actually does that, or I don't do that because I won't be surviving right now talking to you, but let's say I have $1,000 a month as an income. Let's say I get hit with a medical bill of $500 and I don't have an HSA. I'm taking $500 out of my pocket and I'm paying that medical bill. Well, guess what? That $500 lost probably 40%, or after everything that I paid for, or maybe 30%. I've lost money out of it because I paid taxes. So now I took that money and I paid off the medical bill, and I lost 30% of that value already because it was in my savings account and I just give it that medical bill. Whereas if I had an HSA, the 30% has already been there, nothing got lost from that 30%. So now I'm taking that $500 and I'm actually putting it right away. So I'm saving 30% of my personal income. So that's 30% is tax-free, right? Because I had it in an HSA. If you don't have any medical bills, that is fine, but keep in mind, you can actually invest your HSA. Pretty amazing, right? So you can always max out your HSA if you can, and put it into an investment account, and you can invest as the market goes down and goes up, and just forget about it. In retirement, you look and you're gonna thank me later after 30 years. So make sure to hit that like button after 30 years if I'm still around to actually show your appreciation, right? And this is pretty much it, guys. I hope you learned a couple of things, and I hope that made a little bit sense. I hope you like this video and share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or you'd like me to focus on one particular topic within what I just covered, let me know in the comments below and tell me what is going to be your next idea of how to save money without paying too much taxes legally. Take care. I'll see you later.